We've got a lot of things to do in today's episode. In about an hour's time, I'm going to be doing a live stream where I create a whole bunch of concrete ready for our mega structures, because as you guys know, that they use a lot of concrete, but currently I am fairly ill prepared for it. And really, this place is beautiful. This is a really nice environment. And this is the underside of my villager breeder. We've got to sort this. How did I not notice that while I was building? This is not what I should be doing. But then I really do feel like this is urgently required. Is that better? I feel like this is a little bit better. It's definitely better than the dirt. Maybe I could have muddied it up a little bit, but we've got things to do. Wow, I've just come by to my base. There is yet more things in this tiny little area here. Iskall has bought some leaves off of me, which I much appreciate because I had no use for all of those. It's going to be 10 diamonds, 14 bamboo, which is brilliant. And also, look at this. And what's this book? And free samples by... Oh, so this isn't... Wait, hang on. So that's Iskall. This is to do with Impulse SV. And these are free samples for Impulse's Emerald and Totem of Undying shop. How hilarious. I'm just going to leave this stuff here. It's all just going to clutter up the ceiling. This is the sound of many levels making their way into my body. The reason that I need all of those levels is because I'm hoping to get a handful of shovels that I can use. Yes! A handful of shovels that I can use to gather up all of the resources for concrete, because having to go back and repair this shovel every time is a bit of a nightmare. Oh, and again! And again, luck is on my side today. Let's see if we can get 3 in a row. I didn't even look. Maybe not. Goodness me, and I thought my base was cluttered. Look at this place. Anyway, I'm here for one of these, and that is it. Cool, okay. We should now be set up. I've got my 4 shovels. I've worked out where all of the gravel areas are, so I can get plenty of that. I obviously know where the desert is. So let's do this. I'm terrified. I always get so scared before live streams. Hopefully it goes well. And, well, it did. It went incredibly well. It went really, really well. Lots of people tuned in to watch me make concrete. I feel bad. We peaked at 128,000 people watching me mine sand and gather gravel. I think in total 1.3 million people tuned into that live stream. If I had known that many people were going to be watching, I maybe would have chosen to do something a little bit more interesting. Anyway, as you can see, we have got a decent amount of supplies here. So we've got all the bones, bone meal, we've got a bunch of gravel, and we have a whole bunch of sand as well. So we need to convert this into white concrete, and I do not want to do that manually. I really don't want to do that manually. So I think we're going to get it set up with a temporary concrete maker, similar to Iskall's monstrosity. His monstrosity tree farm. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to gather ourselves a bunch of obsidian, because we need to make sure that the bottom area of our build doesn't explode when the TNT is breaking all of the concrete. This should hopefully do the trick. So this is where all of our concrete is going to be falling, and it's all just going to end up in these chests down at the bottom here. So our actual build is going to be going somewhere up here. Somewhere. It of course needs to be at least 12 blocks above our water area down at the bottom, so that if we're pushing in the concrete, or when we're pushing in the concrete, it can go all the way down to the bottom, so we can really maximize the amount of space being used. Hopefully, I think that should be enough. I think that's about 15 blocks. What are you guys doing here? I don't even have any villagers here. You've got... Why do you always come to my house? Anyway, the main unit itself is actually now constructed. So these are the 0-tick pulse smart piston type things, where our concrete is going to be pushed across, and then when it comes across, it is going to be pushed instantly downwards by these pistons. So if I just hold down the right click button here, you can see how fast this thing actually is. Like, we've just gone through all 12 blocks right there. That's gone right the way down to the bottom, and it happens in the blink of an eye. So that's how fast our concrete is actually going to be converted. It's considerably faster than what I'm currently doing, which is converting it in a puddle. Right, what do I need from here? I think is it this? Oh. Am I being stupid? Good. Okay, apparently you need silk touch for this stuff. I never knew. I can't help myself. I have to fly over and check out Impulse's base. That is stupendous. That is stupendous. This is a beautiful base. Look at that. Oh, people are going big this season. People are building big bases. Right, anyway, after a few accidents and quite a bit of time of me getting quite frustrated, this system has now been completed. I've built a ton of these, and no matter what happens, I always seem to build them wrong. But I think I've triple checked this. I think everything should be okay, and this should all function. So let's see. Okay, TNT gets held, dropped, explodes. TNT gets held, dropped, explodes. That seems like it's decently consistent. I'm feeling good about that. I think we might have pulled... I think we finally pulled it off. Now, before we move on, I just want to address something that I've seen popping up quite a bit, which is that I should build all of these things out of concrete powder and then run water down the sides. Now, that works, for example, in this area here, but as soon as you start getting to the diagonals and floating bits and areas like this space, it just completely breaks down. So to keep things simple, in my brain, I'm going to convert the concrete powder beforehand. But seriously, that's not a bad idea. Anyway, this thing should now all be completed and functional and working. So let's see what happens. All right. The TNT is being dropped. Now I'm going to hold down the right click button while standing on this pressure plate here. The smart pistons look like they're working. Now, are there any blocks that are landing on the edges? Yes, instantly. One of the first ones. Okay, I'm glad that I discovered that before I used this for a long period of time. I'm hoping that something like this should do us a little bit better. So I've just reconstructed the entire kind of pickup system. Now there's 4 blocks in every direction from that little concrete blade that we're creating. There's no way. How far is that stuff going to travel? If a piece of concrete does manage to escape, then I'm just going to let it happen, because that means it's working hard. Having given it a quick test, it all seems to be working nicely, but I kept running out of concrete way too quickly. So I've added in this dropper system right here, which means that when I stand on this pressure plate, I'm actually going to get concrete powder dropped into my inventory. So you can see, if you look in my hotbar, I can hold down the right click button all day long. I don't have to wait. I don't have to go into my inventory to get out more. I can just do this forever. And now I guess I will do this forever, because I've got a lot of white concrete to convert. And I, for one, am so glad that I didn't decide to convert the concrete in yesterday's live stream, because goodness gracious me, that might have been the dullest live stream of all time if it was just first person, me holding down the right click button. But then again, I guess I wouldn't have been doing that. I would have been just mining it. It would have taken forever, because that took me 2.5 hours, right, to convert all of that concrete there using my super fast machine. Can you imagine how long it would have taken if I was just mining it in that puddle that I've been doing? Wow. That's hilarious. But anyway, while I was live streaming yesterday, there was actually a new snapshot that was released for Minecraft, which has the whole community really excited, especially those of you who are interested in building, because there's been some big changes made. First off, new blocks have been introduced that are really dark, and they're like the first kind of almost black blocks that we've had that are textured in Minecraft that I can think of. So that's like a totally new build planet. But more importantly, they've changed walls, so now we almost have vertical slabs. How crazy is that? Like, imagine how much depth we can add to builds now. This is like, that's a big game change. I, for one, am incredibly excited for Minecraft 1.16. I can't wait to play with it on the Hermitcraft server. Anyway, here we are with our spoils. This is a decent number of white concrete blocks. I'm hoping that should at least do half. I'm saying it like that because maybe it will do half. It might do half. I really do hope it does half. Ever since Iskall built this place, I have wanted to use it. Okay, and today's the day. So, Iskall's Treasure Island. Pay 1 diamond block to mine a gem. Shulker box. Some gems have treasures and some don't. Important. Do not open a gem. Can you imagine that? You're just going along checking all the shulker boxes. Which one do I want? Okay, so I can't open up the gems before mining it. You get to keep the gem and its contents. So free shulker box, basically. Good luck. Example of treasures to be found: jackpots, diamonds, elytras, super gears, stone, redstone, wood. Rarities. Okay, well, I'll just put my diamond into this ender chest here then. It's a terrible joke, especially because I hadn't realized it's a diamond block. I have to pay with a diamond block, so I guess. All right. And I am thinking that is way too obvious. There's no way there would be good stuff in there, because that to me seems like there should be good stuff in there, but there's probably not. I would say this one. Alright. Alright. No! What? Ah! No! No! Bad news! Do I play again? Do I play again? Oh! I feel like I have to. Wait, we can't go away with nothing. Except if I play again, I could end up with double nothing. 18 diamonds in the hole, still nothing. I think I'm going to leave this one be. I'll be back again. Just not today. Sometimes you need to know when you're cutting your losses, you know? Anyway, back in this absolute clutter of a mess, I can't help but notice that I sent a message to Grian yesterday and he hasn't responded. And I feel like I need to try a little bit harder because I only sent him 26 fish. And I feel like that's perhaps not the best message. So I'm going to send him this book. And I hope that he partakes in a game of noughts and crosses with me. That'd be really nice. And it goes into the minecart. And off the minecart goes to make an enormous racket in Grian's base. I really could do with one of those little alarm systems myself. But then again, I mean, I am quite enjoying just this, whatever this is. Anyway, the next project that we need to work on today is kind of a bit of an open-ended one. And it's one that is a little bit theoretical because we need to do a little bit more work on the base. Now, not necessarily brute force stuff. I'm going to save that for another megasode. Instead, we need to get some things planned. And we need to get some structural kind of bits and bobs set in stone so that I can really start working out how I'm actually going to tackle other parts of this base. Now, I think the first thing that I should probably do is just clean things up a little bit because right now things are looking a little bit rubbish, and that big octagon, the big octagon that's going around there, that is not actually meant to be there. This is just a template, so we're not going to have anything that high up. So I think it would probably be smart if I actually get rid of this thing. I think there's actually a chance that this could be a little bit weird to see without the octagon that's hovering up in the sky. You know, I'm so used to having it up there that sometimes I forget that actually it's not meant to be there. Right. Here is the final block. Let's remove that, and now we look. Now we look and see what this looks like now. Much better, actually. I thought it was going to look strange. No, it looks a million times better. This is far, far cooler. Now, as I mentioned during the live stream, I had this idea when I started constructing this thing that I would have the outer octagon, then I would have a central octagon here, which is where the massive ruinous tower is going to be going. But then in the gap between the two octagons, we would have a dugout area that goes down. In my head, it was all the way down to bedrock. I genuinely don't know what will look better, but we'll leave that for now. Just for the time being, though, I want to start laying out where those octagons will actually start going. So how many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Does 15 look good? And would we be left enough space to make a big tower? I think we definitely would. That seems... You know what could be smart is if we actually take this distance so that it matches. That might be a good way to go. Just so you know, this is me genuinely trying to work things out in my head. I have nothing planned here. How interesting. These things are actually 15 blocks, which is probably why when I reached 15 blocks, it seemed so nicely balanced. So I've just done a little bit of maths and a little bit of counting. This octagon, the outside octagon, is 160 blocks across. If we are setting this octagon back by 15 blocks, then obviously that means that it's going to be 131 blocks across, 161 blocks across, 131 blocks across on this side. That means that this octagon is 81% around about the size of this outside octagon, which means that this straight section here has to be 81% of the size of this one so that it will actually look good and kind of stay uniform. Because yeah, if it doesn't, then it's just going to look really out of whack and horrible. So hopefully I can now do that in block form. 67 times by 0.81 is 54.27. So I guess I'll place 55. It would have to be 55 because it's an odd number. Or do I place 53? No, 55 makes the most sense. Let's give that a go. Can't really place 0.27 of a block in Minecraft, so I guess we'll round upwards. Now we find out if my maths actually adds up correctly. If this diagonal meets perfectly with the other stretch of blocks, then we're on to a winner. We might actually have success here. Yes! Nice! That has gone perfectly. So this should be the same distance. Oh yeah, I mean, just look at them. That's like a... That has gone... I'm proud of myself. My A-level in maths has actually been useful. Just to clarify, when I did my A-level in maths, I wasn't just doing percentages and dividing and things, because that would be the easiest A-level ever. Oh, and just to clarify, for those of you who aren't in the UK, an A-level is an exam that you take when you're around about 17 or 18. After finishing school, you take it at what's known as a sixth form college, which you go to for 2 years before you go off to university. Hopefully that makes sense. And to those of you who are in the US that are about to comment that our school system is weird, your school system is weird. I don't understand it at all. Now, all that side over there was absolutely fine. This side is a little bit more kind of terrainy. We've got a little bit more terrain going on. So I'm going to have to clear up some of this. But it does bring up the question, I mean, what am I going to do about it when I actually start building this thing? I guess just destroy it all? I mean, it is just going to be destroy it all, isn't it? I've just placed the final block of the inside octagon. So now we can take a look at this thing in its entirety. Dude, I actually wasn't expecting it to like it that much. That's why my voice went up. I was planning a dude, right? That's what I had in my head of what I was gonna say, and it escalated. But yeah, before I started the octagon, I kind of wasn't expecting. I was 50-50 as to whether or not I was actually going to go through with that plan. That was like my initial idea, and I wasn't sure if I was actually going to stick with it. But now that I've got it in place, I think that is what this area needs. Oh yeah, 100%. Can you imagine how cool that will look when this is dipped down and this is like one big pillar? Or I guess this is one big pillar. This is like a void. Can you imagine if we did the infinite glass thing that Iskall always does? All the way around the edge. Oh my goodness, the layers of glass. So it gradually goes down into like void darkness. How much glass would that be? Would that require like a billion pieces? I feel like that would require a lot of glass. A lot of glass. Next things next, I just want to quickly talk to you about the accent that I have running through my towers. Originally, I put 3 lines into these things, but people rightly did say that it looked like a pair of Adidas tracksuit bottoms. As soon as that was mentioned, I was like, right, yeah, no, that needs to change. So I put the single line in, and I do like it. I think maybe I might play with the idea. I might just play with not having the accent color when I first build them, and then we can mix it in and see how it works. I'm also not 100% kind of... I'm not sold to this color. I can't remember the term. I'm not married to this color. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm not 100% married to this color. I like it. I think it's probably one of the better options, but if anyone has any suggestions down in the comment section, I did see someone say that we should have different accents for every single side. Could be interesting. So that way I could orientate myself. It could almost be like a compass, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's some alternative blocks that could look really good. So in short, I'm really, really happy with the inside octagon. I'm pleased with the shape. I think it all fits in quite nicely. Eventually, we'll work out what we're going to do with these outside sections here, because there's plenty of opportunities there. I can't wait to get this terraformed so that this is a solid island, and then we also have land mass coming up to this outside octagon, but that's going to be a mega project in of itself, and we're not 100% certain what we're doing with the accents just yet. Wait, hang on a second. Is this another minecart I see? Alright, okay, so he's gone bottom left. It's a good move, it's a good move. Right, let's I'd say we chuck this one into the mix. Alright, let's put that back in the minecart and send it back to him. And I've got to say, once this game of Noughts and Crosses is over, what other games could we play? I thought about Hangman. Hangman could be quite a good one, but it might be a tiny bit long-winded, especially if we get like a 12-letter word. There's got to be more though. Anyway, let's end this episode on a high note, shall we? I'm chucking down my diamond block, and I can't help myself. I think... Okay, I'm thinking one of the red boxes. Is it smart to go for a red box? Oh, this one. I mean, it's something. It is something. But that is 18 diamonds. 18 diamonds to get 2 shulker boxes and 2 stacks of stone. I don't know if that's the good note that I was hoping for, to be honest with you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? I actually really enjoyed recording this episode of Hermitcraft, and I also really enjoyed the live stream that I did yesterday. That was fun. That was interesting. It was my first time live streaming in ages, and I heavily enjoyed it. So I'll be doing more of those. But also, this episode was fun. Everything's fun. I play Minecraft. I play Minecraft all the time. Of course I'm having fun.